Welcome to Try It On, the space where awareness meets the nervous system and real change begins. I'm Tiffany O'Harn, holistic healer, nervous system guide, and speaker. And today we're talking about the ego, not as a concept, as the thing that has been quietly running your life. And as always, don't take my word for it. Try it on. Everything here is an invitation to try on. Don't just allow it to be words that come across. This is a practice. This is the work. And I want to ask you something. Are you willing to be honest with yourself today? Because what we're talking about requires that. The ego is not your enemy, but it has been your driver. And most of us don't even know it's at the wheel. Now, I also invite you to check out previous teachings where we talk about all things ego, nervous system, self-concept, love. They can all be found on my Substack, on my YouTube. I'm posting this stuff everywhere because this is the work. And if you really feel called, if you keep circling back and seeing that your life isn't exactly the way that you want it, feel it can be, then it's your time. You're being called, and it's time to answer, because everything is within you. And that is everything that I keep sharing. It's not about having to take another course. It's not about any of that. It's about you learning. It's about you feeling into the power that you hold. We are powerful creators when our body is calm, when our nervous system is regulated, or else we're creating from dysregulation. Thus, everything in your life is on repeat. And so let's talk about the ego, because the ego created your beliefs and then told you they were true. Now, here's what I know. You might listen to this and you might get a little upset, a little dysregulated. And I promise you to stay with it, because that is your ego that has created your beliefs. It is bumping up against something, right? So let's stay here. Let's challenge it a little and see what happens. Try it on. Every belief you hold right now about love, relationships, about yourself, your ego has collected them. It's collected them from your parents, from your wounds, your traumas, from your teachers, from the media, from things that you experienced. From every experience that hurt you before you had the awareness to process it. They become these unconscious loops. And then we've taken these beliefs and they've hardened, they've crystallized into facts. This is just how I am. This is just how people are. This is just how love works. Sound familiar? They are not facts. They are beliefs. And beliefs can change. I had, for most of my life, believed that people pleasing was a way to keep peace, was a way for me to feel loved. And this is the honest revelation of it. This is not what I was thinking in these moments of pleasing. In the moments of pleasing, I'm thinking, these are my beliefs, that I need to do something to help this person so they don't have to feel what they're feeling. That was the belief. The belief is I'm here to rescue. And then I started to really feel into who I am, my body, my nervous system, and understand that I was gripping at love. Why? Because my belief is that love is conditional. Why? Because it was conditional for myself. And I share these personal examples as a way to really help. This is the work that I do daily, daily. And things have shifted around me because they have shifted within me. When I don't become reactive to my ego, life is far more peaceful, joyful, abundant, because I've stopped trying to control other people. The only thing that I can control is within me. And I'm not saying it doesn't come without challenges. I'm not saying it doesn't come without me having to really journey inward and face some really hard facts about myself. But here I am because everyone is a mirror and everyone is teaching me. And I'm here for the lesson. Are you? Try it on. Don't just take my word for it. Don't just feel and hear how my life has changed. It's an invitation for you because you have it all within as well. We're just taking what's become unconscious, all these beliefs, and we're turning them into this conscious awareness where we have choice, where we can pause, where we understand regulation. And then the miracles. But yet not happen. I promise you that. So try it on. And so we've talked about your ego running the show, right? And how your ego created your beliefs, told you they were true. And so now, right, let's go with number 2, which is your ego expects others to change so you don't have to. How many times has this showed up in your life? And this one is big. In our relationships, we are waiting for them to shift, waiting for them to meet us where we are, waiting for them to finally understand, waiting for them to change. If only they would get it, if only they see what I see. But here's the truth. It is not their job to heal your wounds. It's not your job to heal others' wounds. It's not their job to change so you feel safe. The only beliefs and patterns you have access to are your own. And the common denominator in every relationship you've ever had is you. And that is not as criticism. It's literally the most empowering truth you will ever hear. You are the common denominator. And with that, how beautiful. Because if you are the common denominator, then you can consciously choose something different. And that's what we're talking about right now. And now let's think about this, right? I show up and I'm wounded. I'm standing on my pile of shit. You show up, you've got wounds. You're standing on your pile of shit. And what do you think we do? We just keep flinging our wounds at each other instead of pausing and understanding that in every situation, someone else's wounds and egos are running the show. That offers us compassion. And then we can stand on our own pile and say, wow, what is this showing me? What in myself am I being called to heal, being called to let go? The key to a happy life is a regulated nervous system. It is the ability for you to reflect inward. It's hard no matter what you do. So you might as well work on yourself in the process. How quick and easy is it for us to come down on somebody else because we're feeling irritated, because they're not doing what they need to be doing? Why do people need to shift to please you? Because you're unsafe inside. And if we can turn the unsafe into safety, now we have choice. Now we have the ability to pause. Now we have the ability to reflect inwards into our own ego, to our own belief systems. And what is it showing us? And that is how we shift. That is how we shift. Your ego is running all of your relationships until you decide something different. And I promise you, because it has changed relationships in my life, because why does my partner need to do things to please me? They are their own autonomous being. So is my daughter. So is my mom, my siblings. So is all of these people in my life. And if I release that control of who I want them to be, who I expect them to be, if I release my beliefs, it can't not shift. And it is so beautiful. Try it on. Try it on. And I hope these first three, or the first two, we're going to get to the third one, have resonated within you, because this is a hard conversation, and I celebrate you so hard right now for even being here. Right? Whether you're willing to shift or not, you're still here. And maybe the next thing that I post will be the impetus towards it. I'm not sure, but that's the intention. And so your ego again has created your beliefs, hardened them, crystallized them into facts. Your ego expects others to change just so you don't have to. So you don't have to travel inwards. And three, your ego is looping these same patterns. It's just looping in them. Why do the relationships keep showing up? Why does the same dynamics recreate itself no matter who you were with? Right. And you can look at your work patterns, you can look at your friendships, you can look at your children. I really encourage you to look at your partner, your family, because the ego is looping. It keeps looping. It finds what's familiar and it recreates what it knows. Even, even when what it knows is painful, because there's safety in familiarity. There's safety in that, even when it's destroying you. And so we're clinging to something because it's giving us the illusion of safety, because we've never showed it something different. And that's where the power comes in. That's where we are the most powerful beings, because that loop doesn't break through awareness alone. It breaks when the body finally feels safe enough to choose something different. And that is your choice. That is your choice right now. Try something different. Try something different. You can break these pattern loops. You can. Try it on. Try it on. And choose something different. Allow yourself, allow others to be who they are. I mean, that is the most freeing, most loving thing that we can possibly do for others and for ourselves. And so for me, in doing this work, it is for me to look at my patterns in those loops within myself. I am the common denominator. It is not for somebody else to change or shift. So I have. And sometimes, I was just talking about this morning. Sometimes my ego wants to stand to the side of me and throw a little tantrum saying, why do I always have to be the one? And then I smile, because that's an ego reaction. I'm the one doing the work because I only have choice and control over me. And the more that I reflect that inward, the more my life recreates from the outside, because I have changed within, because I don't need to cling to my partner for love, my child for love, because I am working, practicing daily on loving myself first, on quieting my ego, recognizing when it wants to show its head and laughing in the midst of it. It's funny. I mean, when you really pause, the stuff that you'll do to needle other people, to stand on your pile and fling shit at them, give your opinion when it's not warranted simply because you want to show them that they're wrong. That's the stuff we do. Show them that they're wrong and that you're the only right person. But here's the thing, wrong and right are only based on your opinions, your belief system. So therefore, everyone else, any other person has their own beliefs and what they deem to be right or wrong. But what if there is no right and wrong? What if there's only our experiences? And what if we can just hold that for others? You can do that with a calm, safe nervous system. Your ego steps to the side. It's a beautiful thing. Like I said, you got to try it on or you don't. That is up to you, not to me. And so the fourth, and I did a whole teaching on this, I think it was this week. I do quite a few of them. But your ego is blocking your intuition. Make no mistake about that. You are suggesting, you are thinking, you're believing that it's your intuition. But when you are coming from a dysregulated nervous system, it is not your intuition. It is fear based and it is attached to your ego. It is your ego trying to keep you safe because it's familiar, period. When the ego is running the show, you don't have access to your intuition. You don't have access to what is actually true for you because it's clouded by wounds, by traumas, by old beliefs, by the fear that has been dressed up as this knowing. See, because real intuition is quiet, it's steady, it is unattached, and it can only be heard from a regulated nervous system. When the ego quiets just a little, just a little, just enough so that space opens up. And in that space is the real knowing. That's the real knowing. Last summer, I had something pretty dramatic happen to me. I shared it earlier this week also. And it was almost like this toxic spirituality that I didn't recognize within myself. That I was choosing to see people and what I thought was spiritual and loving, but it really was just a reflection of my ego and my collected belief systems. And really kind of understanding, well, how do I want my life to change? Or I know I can change my life, but how do we actually do that? And this is how this work found me, because I was able to quiet it just enough to hear my intuition. And the message was clear. It is me. It's all within me. We all have access to change our life. We are all just one decision away from it. And it comes from a calm, regulated body, nervous system. And you can have it. I promise you. But like I said, don't just take my word for it. Try it on. And number 5, your ego thinks safety is outside of you. That is the beliefs that we have collected, that we have been showed. Because if you watch media, social media, it is not love. It is the belief of love that has been perpetuated. We say we want love. We say we want connection. We say we want beautiful relationships, but our bodies don't feel safe. And a body that doesn't feel safe will literally sabotage every beautiful thing that comes toward it. And it's not on purpose. It's because the ego believes safety lives out there, outside of ourselves. In the relationship, in the right circumstances, in the other person finally changing, But that's not how it goes. Safety arrives in your body first, or else the ego will keep running the show. It's running your show right now. And you will keep searching. You will keep looking. Because when you start building safety from within, you feel, you know, with unwavering certainty what love is. You'll hear your ego loud and clear, and you'll be able to challenge it in real time when you start building safety within, because you will not be gripping it from without, from outside of you. As within, so without. You have everything in you to have, be, and do the life that you truly see for yourself. You just have to silence the ego, calm the body, and listen to what's really there. The ego likes to be mean, likes to pick people, likes to pick on people, likes to show them that we're right, they're wrong. And we will hold fast to that. And so we say things like, yeah, I'm a good person, I'm a kind person. And I know you believe that to be true. And I'm not here to say it's not true. But it brings up the question, if your ego is running the show, then you cannot be any of those things consistently. Safety in the body first. And then you, the real, authentic, divine, sovereign being is within that. You just need to lose that control from outside of you. It is not helping you. It has only hindered your growth. And it's okay. You didn't know what you know now. Now you choose something different. If this is landing, this is exactly the work inside from reaction to response, the reset, because you cannot turn down the volume of the ego with information alone. This is not an intellectual experience. You have to show your body it is safe. And that is what the reset does. It's a 60-minute workshop. I included a curated 528 hertz guided meditation so you can feel peace and calm in your body. I'm also including a 432 hertz frequency track to help regulate the body. It's $47. Link is in the bio. What do you have to lose? Try it on. And here's what I want you to hear, the part that nobody is really talking about. You can read every book, every scientific journal, every study on the nervous system and the brain, and still react, still loop, and still find yourself in the same patterns, because knowing is not the same as shifting. Understanding why you react does not stop you from reacting in real time, because your body responds before your mind can catch up. This is not an intellectual game. You cannot think your way out of a triggered nervous system. You can know everything about regulation and still not feel safe, because the body doesn't speak in concepts. It speaks in sensations, in breath, in presence. And if you don't show your body it's safe, the ego keeps driving. The words just stay words on a page and the loop continues. And so here's the shift. Turn down the volume of the ego, not by fighting it, not by shaming it, by creating space. One breath, one pause, one moment of regulation. And in that space, you have access to you, to yourself. You have access to what is actually true. And that is where the ego loosens its grip. And that is where patterns begin to break. And that is where you begin to build safety from within. And safety, real safety, changes everything. Try it on. Right now, notice where your ego has been the loudest lately. In a relationship, in a belief that you've been clinging to, in a pattern you keep recreating, and just notice. Then you place one hand on your heart and you breathe in slowly through your nose. And exhale longer than the inhale. In the nose, from the nose, all the way out. And in that stillness, you ask, is this my ego or is this my truth? Does this grip me or does it steady me? Am I reacting or am I choosing? And you just breathe with that. You don't need answers right now. The space itself is the shift. And if you're here with me now, I applaud you. I celebrate you. I celebrate the evolution of your life that you are stepping into. This is the work. This is what we need to be talking about. Because this is all within you. You know, I have done hours and hours of healing, spent hundreds, thousands of dollars on healing myself, and nothing has shifted me faster and deeper than this work. I'm a living, breathing example of it. And that's why I'm going to continue to share it, because it is all within you. You have everything within you. I promise you. And so take these 5 ways and try them on one at a time and see what shifts. I'd love for you to comment below. I'd love for you to subscribe to keep having access to these that I'm just giving away. Because I know you can change. I know it. Do you? Don't you want peace and ease in your life? Don't you want choice? Don't you want to control what you can control and only what you can control, which is you? Let everything else go. The ego is not your enemy, but it has been your driver. And now you get to choose who's at the wheel. Not through more information, not through more thinking, through regulation, through safety, through creating space in your own body to hear what is actually true. That is the work we do here. And if this resonated, share it with someone who needs it. Follow along. And if you're ready for the tools, from reaction to response, the reset, it's live. It's $47. The link is in the bio. Don't believe me? Try it on. Because this is Try It On, where awareness meets the nervous system and real change begins from within. So take this into your life, not as something to believe, as something to try.